Have you ever woken up feeling like your body just isn't what it used to be? Maybe you've had a cold that lingered longer than it should have. Or perhaps you've noticed that bouncing back from an illness feels harder than it did a decade ago. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. As we age, our bodies change, and recovering from sickness can feel like a whole new challenge. But here's the good news. Getting sick doesn't mean you can't fully recover. In fact, with the right approach, you can regain your strength, energy, and vitality, no matter your age. That's what we're going to talk about today. In this video, we'll explore what happens when seniors get sick, why recovery might feel different as we age, and most importantly, how you can give yourself the best chance to fully bounce back. We'll cover everything from the role of nutrition and exercise to the power of a positive mindset and the importance of a strong support system. By the end of this series, you'll have practical, actionable steps to help you feel your best, even after an illness. So, let's start with the first big question. Why does recovery feel harder as we get older? As we age, our bodies naturally go through changes. Our immune system, which is our body's defense against illness, doesn't work as quickly or as efficiently as it once did. Think of it like this. When you were younger, your immune system was like a well-oiled machine, ready to jump into action at the first sign of trouble. But as we get older, that machine might start to slow down a bit. It still works, but it takes a little longer to get going. This means that when you get sick, your body might need more time to fight off infection or heal from an injury. And because your immune system isn't as robust, you might also be more susceptible to complications. For example, what might have been a simple cold in your 40s could turn into a more serious respiratory issue in your 60s or 70s. But here's the thing. While these changes are a normal part of aging, they don't mean you're powerless. In fact, there's a lot you can do to support your body and give it the tools it needs to recover fully. And that brings us to our first point. The role of nutrition in recovery. You probably heard the saying, you are what you eat. And when it comes to recovery, that couldn't be more true. What you put into your body plays a huge role in how well it can heal. Think of food as fuel. If you're filling up on the wrong kind of fuel, like processed food, sugary snacks, or too much alcohol, your body won't have the energy or nutrients it needs to repair itself. On the other hand, if you focus on eating nutrient-rich foods, you're giving your body the building blocks it needs to recover. For example, protein is essential for repairing tissues and building muscle, especially after an illness or surgery. Foods like lean meats, fish, eggs, beans, and nuts are all great sources of protein. Vitamins and minerals are also crucial. Vitamin C, found in citrus fruits and leafy greens, can boost your immune system, while zinc, found in foods like pumpkin seeds and whole grains, helps with wound healing. And don't forget about hydration. Drinking plenty of water is key to keeping your body functioning properly, especially when you're sick. Now, I know that making changes to your diet can feel overwhelming, especially if you're dealing with a loss of appetite or other health issues. But the good news is, even small changes can make a big difference. Start by adding 1 or 2 healthy foods to your meals each day. Maybe it's a handful of spinach in your morning omelet, or a piece of fruit as an afternoon snack. Over time, these small steps can add up to a big impact on your health. Of course, nutrition is just one piece of the puzzle. Another important factor in recovery is physical activity. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If I'm sick, shouldn't I just rest? And yes, rest is important, especially when you're in the thick of an illness. But once you're on the mend, gentle movement can actually help speed up your recovery. Let's talk about why. When you move your body, even in small ways, you're helping to improve circulation. This means more oxygen and nutrients are being delivered to your cells, which can help them repair and regenerate. Exercise also helps to reduce inflammation, which is often a big part of what makes us feel lousy when we're sick. Now, I'm not talking about running a marathon or lifting heavy weights. For many seniors, gentle activities like walking, stretching, or even chair yoga can be incredibly beneficial. The key is to listen to your body and start slow. If you've been bedridden for a while, even just sitting up and moving your arms and legs can be a good place to start. And here's a tip. Try to make movement a part of your daily routine. Maybe it's a short walk around the block after breakfast or a few stretches before bed. Over time, you'll likely find that these small bursts of activity not only help with your recovery, but also boost your energy and mood. Now that we've covered the importance of nutrition and physical activity, let's talk about something that's just as important but often overlooked: your mindset. When you're sick, it's easy to feel discouraged or even hopeless, especially if recovery is taking longer than you expected. But here's the truth: your mindset can have a huge impact on how well you recover. Studies have shown that people who maintain a positive outlook tend to heal faster and experience fewer complications than those who feel defeated. Now, I'm not saying you need to be cheerful all the time. That's not realistic, especially when you're not feeling well. But even small shifts in your thinking can make a difference. For example, instead of focusing on what you can't do, try to focus on what you can do. Maybe you can't go for your usual walk, but you can sit outside and enjoy the fresh air. Or maybe you can't cook a big meal, but you can ask a loved one to help or try a simple, healthy recipe. Another helpful strategy is to set small, achievable goals for yourself. Maybe it's getting out of bed and getting dressed every morning, or maybe it's taking a few extra steps each day. These small victories can give you a sense of accomplishment and keep you motivated as you work toward full recovery. So far, we've talked about how nutrition, physical activity, and mindset can all play a role in helping seniors recover from illness. But there's one more factor that's just as important, and that's your support system. When you're sick, it's easy to feel isolated, especially if you live alone or have limited contact with others. But having a strong support system can make a world of difference in your recovery. Whether it's family, friends, or even a support group, having people who care about you and are willing to help can provide both practical and emotional support. For example, maybe a family member can help with grocery shopping or cooking meals. Or maybe a friend can come over for a visit and keep you company. Even just having someone to talk to can help lift your spirits and remind you that you're not alone. And if you don't have a strong support system, don't worry. There are still ways to connect with others. Many communities have senior centers or organizations that offer programs and activities for older adults. You can also look for online groups or forums where you can share your experiences and get advice from others who are going through similar challenges. Now that we've talked about the foundational elements of recovery, nutrition, physical activity, mindset, and support, let's dive a little deeper. Because while those are the building blocks, there are some specific strategies and habits that can make a big difference in how well you recover from illness, especially as a senior. One of the most important things you can do is to take steps to boost your immune system. After all, your immune system is your body's first line of defense against illness, and keeping it strong can help you recover faster and even prevent future sickness. So, how do you boost your immune system? Well, it starts with the basics we've already touched on: eating well, staying active, and managing stress. But there are a few extra things you can do to give your immune system an extra edge. For example, getting enough sleep is crucial. When you're asleep, your body goes into repair mode, producing proteins called cytokines to help fight off infections and inflammation. If you're not getting enough rest, your body can't produce as many of these protective proteins, which can slow down your recovery. Now, I know that getting a good night's sleep isn't always easy, especially if you're dealing with pain, discomfort, or anxiety. But there are some simple steps you can take to improve your sleep quality. Try to stick to a regular sleep schedule, even on weekends. Create a calming bedtime routine, like reading a book or taking a warm bath. And make sure your bedroom is a comfortable, relaxing environment, cool, dark, and quiet. Another way to support your immune system is by staying up to date on vaccinations. As we age, our immune systems become less effective at fighting off certain infections, which is why vaccines like the flu shot, pneumonia vaccine, and shingles vaccine are so important for seniors. These vaccines can help protect you from serious illnesses and complications, giving your body one less thing to fight against. Now, let's talk about something that many seniors deal with: chronic conditions. If you're living with a condition like diabetes, arthritis, or heart disease, recovering from an illness can feel even more challenging. But here's the thing: managing your chronic condition, well, can actually help you recover faster and more fully. For example, if you have diabetes, Keeping your blood sugar levels under control is key. High blood sugar can weaken your immune system and slow down healing. So it's important to follow your doctor's recommendations for diet, medication, and monitoring. Similarly, if you have arthritis, staying active can help keep your joints flexible and reduce pain, which can make it easier to move around and stay independent during your recovery. And if you have heart disease, following a heart-healthy diet and taking your medications as prescribed can help your body function at its best. The key here is to work closely with your healthcare provider to manage your condition. Don't be afraid to ask questions or speak up if something doesn't feel right. Your doctor is there to help you, and together you can create a plan that supports your overall health and recovery. Another important aspect of recovery is managing medications. As we age, it's not uncommon to be taking multiple medications, and while these can be life-saving, they can also come with side effects or interactions that might slow down your recovery. For example, some medications can cause fatigue, dizziness, or digestive issues, which can make it harder to stay active or eat well. Others might interact with each other, reducing their effectiveness or causing unwanted side effects. That's why it's so important to keep an updated list of all the medications you're taking, including over-the-counter drugs and supplements. Bring this list with you to every doctor's appointment, and don't hesitate to ask your doctor or pharmacist if you have any questions about your medications. It's also a good idea to review your medications regularly with your doctor. As your body changes, your medication needs might change too, and your doctor can help you adjust your prescriptions to ensure you're getting the best possible care. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's often overlooked but incredibly important: mental and emotional health. When you're sick, it's easy to focus on the physical aspect of recovery, but your mental and emotional well-being play a huge role in how well you heal. For example, stress and anxiety can actually slow down your recovery. When you're stressed, your body produces hormones like cortisol, which can suppress your immune system and make it harder for your body to fight off infections. That's why finding ways to manage stress is so important. One effective way to reduce stress is through relaxation techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or gentle yoga. These practices can help calm your mind and body, making it easier for you to rest and heal. Another helpful strategy is to stay connected with others. As we talked about earlier, having a strong support system can make a big difference in your recovery. But even if you're not up for socializing in person, there are still ways to stay connected. A phone call with a friend, a video chat with grandchild, or even a heartfelt letter can help you feel less isolated and more supported. And don't forget about the power of laughter. It might sound silly, but laughter really is good medicine. It can boost your mood, reduce stress, and even strengthen your immune system. So, whether it's watching a funny movie, reading a humorous book, or sharing a joke with a friend, don't underestimate the healing power of a good laugh. Finally, let's talk about staying motivated throughout the recovery process. Recovery can be a long and sometimes frustrating journey, especially if you're dealing with setbacks or slow progress. But staying motivated is key to keeping moving forward. One way to stay motivated is to focus on the progress you've made, no matter how small. Maybe you're able to walk a little farther than you could last week, or maybe you're feeling a bit more energetic. Celebrate those victories, no matter how small they might seem. Another helpful strategy is to set realistic goals for yourself. Instead of focusing on the big picture, like, I want to feel like I did 10 years ago, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. For example, your goal might be to walk for 10 minutes a day, or to try one new healthy recipe each week. These small, achievable goals can help you stay focused and motivated. And remember, it's okay to ask for help when you need it, whether it's a family member, a friend, or a healthcare professional. There are people who want to support you and help you succeed. So, let's recap what we've covered so far. We've talked about the importance of boosting your immune system, managing chronic conditions, staying on top of your medications, and taking care of your mental and emotional health. We've also discussed strategies for staying motivated and celebrating your progress, no matter how small. We've covered a lot of ground so far, haven't we? From the basics of nutrition and physical activity to the importance of mindset, support, and managing chronic conditions. we've explored many of the key factors that can help seniors recover fully from illness. Now, let's wrap things up by diving into a few more strategies that can make a big difference in your recovery journey. One of the most important but often overlooked aspects of recovery is preventive care. Think of it like this. If you can prevent an illness from happening in the first place, you won't have to worry about recovering from it. And while we can't prevent every illness, there are steps we can take to reduce our risk and stay as healthy as possible. For example, regular checkups with your doctor are crucial. These appointments give your doctor a chance to catch potential health issues early, before they become serious problems. They're also a great opportunity to discuss any concerns you might have and make sure you're up to date on screenings and vaccinations. Another important part of preventive care is staying active and engaged in life. We've already talked about the physical benefits of exercise, but did you know that staying socially and mentally active can also help protect your health? Studies have shown that seniors who stay connected with others and continue to learn new things are less likely to experience cognitive decline and are more likely to recover quickly from illness. So, whether it's joining a book club, taking a class, or volunteering in your community, finding ways to stay engaged can have a big impact on your overall health and well-being. Now, let's talk about something that might seem simple but is incredibly important: hydration. When you're sick, it's easy to forget to drink enough water, especially if you're not feeling well or don't have much of an appetite. But staying hydrated is crucial for recovery. Water helps your body flush out toxins, transport nutrients, and maintain proper organ function. It also helps keep your skin healthy, which is important for wound healing. So, how much water should you be drinking? While the general recommendation is 8 glasses a day, your needs might vary depending on your age, weight, and activity level. A good rule of thumb is to drink enough so that your urine is light yellow or clear. If it's dark yellow, that's a sign you might need to drink more. And if plain water feels boring, don't worry. There are plenty of ways to make it more interesting. Try adding a slice of lemon, cucumber, or mint for a refreshing twist. Herbal teas, broths, and water-rich foods like fruits and vegetables can also help you stay hydrated. Another key aspect of recovery is creating a recovery-friendly environment at home. When you're not feeling well, the last thing you want is to be tripping over clutter or struggling to reach things you need. That's why it's important to make your home as safe and comfortable as possible. Start by decluttering and organizing your space. Clear walkways, remove tripping hazards, and make sure frequently used items are within easy reach. If you're recovering from surgery or an injury, consider rearranging furniture to create more open space and make it easier to move around. It's also a good idea to have a designated recovery area where you can rest comfortably. This might be a cozy chair with a blanket and pillow, or your bed with extra support for your back or legs. Make sure you have everything you need within arm's reach, like medications, water, snacks, and entertainment like books or a tablet. And don't forget about safety. If you're unsteady on your feet, consider installing grab bars in the bathroom or using a shower chair. A medical alert system can also provide peace of mind. Know that help is just a button press away if you need it. Finally, let's talk about the importance of patience and self-compassion. Recovery is rarely a straight line. It's more like a winding road with ups and downs. There might be days when you feel like you're making great progress, and others when you feel like you've taken 2 steps back. And that's okay. It's important to be patient with yourself and recognize that healing takes time. Celebrate the small victories, like getting out of bed on your own or walking a little farther than you could yesterday. And on the tough days, remind yourself that it's okay to rest and take things slow. Self-compassion is also key. It's easy to be hard on yourself when you're not feeling your best, but try to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you'd offer a friend. Remember, you're doing the best you can, and that's enough. So, let's take a moment to recap everything we've covered in this series. We started by talking about why recovery can feel harder as we age and how nutrition, physical activity, mindset, and support can all play a role in helping you bounce back. We then explored strategies for boosting your immune system, managing chronic conditions, staying on top of your medications, and taking care of your mental and emotional health. And finally, we discussed the importance of preventive care, hydration, creating a recovery-friendly environment, and practicing patience and self-compassion. Recovery might feel different as we get older, but it's not something we have to face alone. By taking small, consistent steps to support your body and mind, you can give yourself the best chance to fully recover and get back to living your best life. Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've learned from this series that you're excited to try? Or maybe you have a tip or story about recovery that you'd like to share. Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to read them. And if you found this series helpful, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more tips and advice on living your best life after 60. Remember, no matter what challenges come your way, you've got the strength and resilience to overcome them. Here's to your health, happiness, and a full recovery. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.